The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 1, aka the penultimate installment of the Twilight Saga film series. But does it really deserve the hate it got from the critics almost a decade ago? Or can I put some bite into this and prove them wrong? Watch this review and find out. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D. So I'm going to be bringing to y'all another review of the Twilight Saga, and that's Breaking Dawn Part 1 from 2011. Now, if you have not seen my reviews for the other three installments, click on the card that is about to come up, and go. Now be for my playlist, and you can see these three before you continue on. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, if you've done it, thank you. Alright, let's get into this. The film was directed by Bill Condon, who would later go on to direct the Beauty and the Beast live-action flick for Disney. Of course, it's based on Stephenie Meyer's 2008 novel, Breaking Dawn. Anyway, as the first of a two-part adaptation of the novel, Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, and Taylor Lautner are all back as Bella, Edward, and Jacob. So here we go. A few months after the events of the previous film is the day of Bella Swan and Edward Cullen's wedding, and Bella is preparing with the help of Edward's sisters Alice and Rosalie, plus Renee, her mother. During the reception, which goes out pretty well, Jacob Black, who had quickly left town upon receiving an invitation to the wedding, returns. Bella and Edward happily exchange their vows together and are married in front of their loved ones. Bella is pleasantly surprised to see Jacob returned, and the two share a dance in the woods. Bella admits that she and Edward plan to consummate their marriage on their honeymoon while she is still human. Jacob becomes furious, knowing that such an act could kill her. Sam and other pack members restrain Jacob before he phases. After the wedding, the couple spend their honeymoon on Isle Esme, or how the heck you pronounce it, sorry if I mispronounced it, and they make love for the first time. The next morning, Edward realizes that Bella has numerous bruises and is upset at himself for hurting her. Though Bella insists that she enjoyed the experience, Edward vows not to make love again until she becomes a vampire 100%. 2 weeks after the wedding, Bella vomits after waking and notices her period is late. Alice calls Bella and asks if she's alright, as Alice had a vision of something happening to Bella. She passes the phone to Carlisle, Edward's adoptive father, and Bella tells him she believes she's pregnant. Edward is distraught, as he knows it is highly unlikely a human will survive giving birth to a vampire's baby. He tells her that Carlisle should remove the baby. She refuses, and she wants to keep her child, and convinces Edward's sister Rosalie to act as her bodyguard. They fly back home to Forks. Though Bella has only been pregnant for 2 weeks, the baby rapidly grows. Jacob rushes over to the Cullens' house. Bella, now heavily pregnant, is pale and underweight. Jacob, upset by Bella's failing health, says that Carlisle should terminate the pregnancy ASAP so that Bella may survive. Bella ignores Carlisle's medical advice and Alice's visions. Continuing her pregnancy. As her pregnancy progresses, the quality of her health declines rapidly, but after a snide comment from Jacob, Bella realizes the baby is craving blood and begins drinking human blood sourced by Carlisle from the local hospital, and her health improves. The pregnancy progresses at an alarming rate, And as a half vampire, the fetus is far more accelerated than a human one. Edward's dislike for the baby dissolves as he notices he can read his or her thoughts, and he and Bella share a tender moment with their unborn child. Bella is sharing her baby names with Edward and Jacob when her backbone suddenly breaks and she collapses. They realize that Bella cannot cope with the pregnancy and the baby is suffocating. So Edward, Jacob, and Rosalie begin to perform a cesarean section of her. Rosalie begins the procedure as Carlisle is out getting blood, but due to her hunger, the blood on the blade tempts her greatly. Jacob stops her as Edward picks up the blade and finishes the procedure. As the morphine hasn't had time to spread yet, the procedure is excruciatingly painful for Bella as Edward cuts her stomach open and she falls unconscious. After the procedure, Bella wakes up and sees her healthy newborn daughter and chooses Renesmee, a combination of her and Edward's mother's names, as the baby's name before her heart seemingly stops beating. Jacob desperately attempts CPR while a now calm Rosalie takes the baby away. Edward injects Bella's heart with his venom to transform her into a vampire, but it appears to be futile as Bella remains lifeless. Panicked, Edward begins chest compressions. Jacob scornfully tells him he won't kill him as it would be a greater punishment for Edward to spend the rest of his life knowing he was the reason Bella died. Yikes. Jacob then storms out of the house and collapses to his knees, sobbing. Seth and Lee tell the pack Bella didn't survive the delivery. Distraught, Jacob goes back inside and attempts to kill Renesmee, as he believes she was the reason Bella died. But when they look into each other's eyes, he sees all the future versions of her and decides not to kill her, imprinting on her instead. Now to the ending, you know the procedure, 5 seconds to stop. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, continue on. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. When the werewolves learn of Bella's death, they attack the Cullens' house in an attempt to kill the baby, fearing that it would become too great of a threat. Edward, Alice, and Jasper defend their home with the help of Lee and Seth, and are later assisted by Carlisle, Esme, and Emmett. Jacob then runs outside to stop the fight and transform into his wolf form. Jacob and Sam shortly communicate with each other telepathically. Edward reads Jacob's mind, announcing that Jacob has imprinted on Renesmee, and since the wolves' most absolute law is not to harm anyone who has been imprinted on, they leave. Edward's venom begins to heal Bella. She is cleaned and dressed. Over the course of 2 days, her bite marks heal, her broken back and chest repair, and her figure returns to normal. Finally, the transformation is complete, and when her eyes open, they are blood red. End of story, but not yet. There is a mid-credits scene. Arrow and his brothers Marcus and Caius receive a letter from Carlisle announcing that the Cullens have a new member of the family. Arrow informs his brothers that his feud with the Cullens is not yet over, as they have something he wants. Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so what did I think of Breaking Down Part 1? Well, it's good in ways. It did have some shocking moments and what have you. Despite the film kind of got heavily dissed in my view, because this was the weakest reviewed form of the franchise. Well, being low than New Moon was. But hey, I can understand. It kind of feels like you're watching an actual soap opera or something like that. But I can understand. It's Twilight, and well, that does kind of feel like a little bit of a downside. But the way Bella was looking was just horrible. it was kind of freaky and what have you, but after that, she's fully recovered. But anyway, I will say that's just one of the few things that might be a little bit of a slight downside, but overall, it's still a pretty reasonable flick and what have you. Despite being dissed by critics, the film went on to make 712 million worldwide. So I'm gonna say that this isn't too bad. I like Bill Condon's direction. Cara Burwell's music score for this was not too bad, and the soundtrack wasn't too bad either. But anyway, the performances from Kristen Stewart and Taylor Lautner and Robert Pattinson, they were all real good. Peter Facinelli as Carlisle and Elizabeth Reese as Esme, they were all good. Ashley Greene as Alice, Kellen Lutz as Emmett, Nikki Reed as Rosalie, and Jackson Rathbone as Jasper, they were all good. We also had Billy Burke back on board as Charlie, Bella's father. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this wasn't too bad. Okay, Michael Sheen makes a return as Arrow. Not too bad. But anyway, with still a reasonable cast and what have you, and the story not being too factually bad, would I still recommend Breaking Dawn Part 1? I would, yes. Give it, well, go on with it, because if you're a Twilight completionist, you gotta keep going with the series. So that's about it. That's all I can say. Now, what are your thoughts on Breaking Dawn Part 1? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button below. Subscribe to my channel as well and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of the grand finale, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, check out these other videos. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the fourth installment of another vampire-type story, Underworld Awakening. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review for, well, a little bit of a chick flick I recently reviewed. That being Coyote Ugly. Or if you just want something that might be more kind of disappointing or underrated, one of you take a break from the vampires and one of you and see my review for the screwball dark comedy Love Stinks from 1999 in the bottom left hand corner. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.